Okay, so this is going to be a 2AR, and it's going to be answering the space militarism K and case, and we run the SPSF, so, and the advantages are hedge and warming, and they also contested solvency, so I'm going to be answering that as well. Basically, the judge just told me to focus more time on the critique and focus on instead 3 core arguments, such as the perm, alternative fails, and also a lot of offense against the critique. And on case, just, do better line by line, I guess. So, here we go. The reason you vote affirmative is because the case outweighs critique and the alt fails. First on case, they say SPS interferes with military signals and that kills Gemini, but you can extend our Ramos 2K card that says SPS satellites solve all power and signal issues with military satellites. Even if SPS initially blocks the satellite signals as their evidence indicates, we solve them back in the long term, meaning we still maintain the best internal link to Gemini, and these competitors like China are still going to perceive SPS as militarization because of dual use, but it's a double bind. Either the satellites we've already sent into space would have triggered the impact, or SPS is such a small instance of potential dual use that our competitors would not mind, and our entire warming advantage is based off the fact that China and other competitors can use energy from SPS to solve their own resource crises. That means they know what SPS is capable of, they know SPS is a benefit, and they won't perceive it as militarization. And onto warming. They say launches would kill the ozone layer, but our launches only affect a small area of the ozone. It would not destroy the entire layer. That means we don't link to their impacts, and their own unique evidence is the ozone layer can regenerate. That means even if we destroy the ozone layer in one specific area, that specific spot can still regenerate, like how the hole above Antarctica healed itself. And they say warming is irreversible. Their evidence only assumes we have stable emissions. You should trust in the 1AC evidence that says how SPS can solve for all CO2 emissions and how that's key to solve warming. And they say that SPS can't solve, but it's a try or die scenario. We need to make every effort in order to solve climate change, and you can extend our SU-10 card for the 1AC that says SPS can't solve. The satellites receive 24 hours of sunlight, which they can then convert into electrical energy that they beam down to receptors on Earth, giving emission-free, unlimited energy to Earth. We completely erase all CO2 emissions, meaning we solve all instances of global warming. And on to solvency. They say a demonstration is key to solve, but the planned fiat's a demonstration. We're not just going to launch rockets into space. We have prototypes. We're going to build prototypes that we're going to launch first. These will operate as demonstrations so that countries can observe the planet's SPS satellites, which means we solve for their demonstration argument. And they said the technology isn't profitable. The technology is profitable. That's a Nancy 96 card. SPS satellites will save the United States tons of money. The sun will literally give us free energy, so we won't have to buy oil from OPEC anywhere at outrageous prices. Tons of revenue will literally flood in. So even if SPS is expensive in the short term, it solves back and saves money for us in the long term. And on the critique. First off, the alt fails. They don't answer the offense well against the alternative. You can extend to seed the political. They say the political is already seeded, but this argument just means that the alt can't solve for the total conservative right in the government right now. It's a double bind. Either the political is already seeded. This means the entire government is the conservative right, and they will not reject space mil, so the alt fails, or the political has not seeded yet, and only the far left will embrace the alt, and then the right will take over. That's a roaring 98. That's a roaring 98 card, and that magnifies the impacts the alternative tries to solve for in the first place. So this turns the critique. If you vote for the alternative, you increase the amount of militarization in space and feel solving for them. And onto the perm. First off, it's the best option. We should send SPS satellites into space in order to solve for the app's immediate impacts and then reject all forms of our construction of space development. They say the perm fails because it still links to case framing of space development, but you can extend our double-blind argument. Either this instance of the app is such a large instance of the space one that the alt can't solve, or the alt does solve, which means the perm still solves back 100% because it envelops the alt. And the case outweighs. By using SPS satellites, we erase our reliance on fossil fuels for energy. This means we completely halt any carbon emissions, greatly reducing the risk of the greenhouse effect and preventing global warming from causing the extinction of the human race. Increased temperatures cause the ice caps in the north and south poles to melt, and this floods the oceans, which means this caused the ocean level to rise, which floods coastal cities where more than half of the population lies. People will move further inland, decreasing the amount of land for potential population and food production and farming. The decreased living space leads to more diseases being spread and less food and resources to go around. The entire globe will literally starve to death. Our SU-10 card specifically says the only way to halt global warming is the technology of space-based solar power, which the planet enacts. This outweighs the critique's impacts of continuous war because we need to survive before we can rethink the way we develop in space. You vote out because alt fails and case outweighs the case. The case outweighs the case impacts. Even if you think the alternative is a good idea, you vote for the perm because we solve both the app's immediate impacts, which you can refer to our solvency evidence to refer as true, and the critique systemic impacts as well.